So, how is the rest of the world handling disability when it comes to public transport? We found out when Tricia Malowney spoke to us earlier.
So it was
How
a
many
long
countries?
trip. Let me see, six.
6 countries in 77 days?
Yeah, 6
Wow.
countries. So I went, and I took Noel with me, that's my partner. I took him with me and we went to London, then we went down to Bath, back up to London, over to Dublin, up to Belfast, back down to Dublin, and then Noel said, "Your work is so boring, I'm going home." So he did, so thank you very much. So I got his niece to come over and join me, and that was interesting. So from there I went to Paris. So much for romance in Paris. That didn't happen because he'd already gone home. So there you go. So then I went to Philadelphia, and then from there I went to Syracuse. And when I was in Syracuse, I met my very good friend Jodie Barney, who's an Aboriginal woman who's deaf from Victoria, and we never see each other in Victoria because we're both so busy working.
What's she doing in Syracuse?
She was doing a Churchill Fellowship. Right, so we met up there and we had a lovely time over doing washing. So,
Doing washing?
Yeah, because, you know, when you get a chance to do your washing when you're travelling that much. So there you go. So then from there I went down to New York, and that was fabulous. And then from there I went to Washington, DC. Where did I go from there? Then I went to Toronto, and then from there I went to Vancouver and then home. But
So
there was a lot of work in the meantime.
Yeah, so in all those different disparate places all across the world, and the US and England and wherever else, you were looking at public transport.
And
what specifically were you looking at?
I was looking at the journey from the moment you leave home to the moment you get home. So the people I spoke to were people with disabilities, naturally, and also at transport providers, so and the government transport providers too. And I met some really interesting people. Not everybody does it our way.
What do you mean?
Well, in most countries now, they've given up on accessibility for physical disability, and people have got alternative transport. So they've got like a bus that comes and picks them up and takes them where they want to go. It's a very expensive option, and I don't want a separate bus. I just want to catch the train, you know. So we're working on it. But in London, for example, if you've got a disability, you're supposed to ring 3 hours beforehand and make sure you've got somebody to help you on the train. And then you go to a waiting room for half an hour before you get to the train. So when I was walking through Paddington, people would say, "Oh, that's where you go." No, sorry, I'm just catching the train. I'm not waiting around. But see here, the driver loads the person with a disability onto the front carriage. That's how we get access. In most other countries now, they're starting to look at driverless trains. So they have to have somebody on the station to be able to help you on and off. You've got to book somebody. We don't want to do that.
No.
We actually want to have an inclusive one. And that was the same in Paris, and it was the same in Vancouver, in Toronto, in New York. In New York, I had lunch with a woman with a disability, which ended up being dinner, right? So, because it was good. It was, you know, sort of not far from my hotel, so I could walk home, so it was fine. And she had... she would have a bus that would come and pick her up from wherever the restaurant was. However, because it was after hours, she got an Uber. Now that Uber cost her $2, right? The Department of Transport pays the rest.
Wow.
So it's a very expensive option.
Yes.
And it's not really, I mean, Ubers are nice, but I'd rather be able to use public transport.
Well, it's kind of surprising actually, because I know from my work in disability arts, we speak about other countries and the provisions supplied in other countries for people with disabilities. It's always from a vaunted perspective. They're always speaking about how fantastic it is overseas. I'm quite surprised that transport is a different story.
If you've got a physical disability, so the same with hotels. Hotels are not accessible for people with disabilities. You have no idea the number of times, because I travel quite a bit, that I have rung from here to my hotel that I've selected wherever it is, told them exactly what I need, and then get over there and I've got a shower with a step. I can't walk. Right, simple as that. I can't walk without my calipers on. I can't even take a couple of steps. So it's sort of like, no, this is what I need. this is not what I get. So I tend to stay at the same hotels. So in London, I always stay at the Novotel in Paddington. It's close to the station, and I know I can get an accessible room. And when I'm in Ireland, I stay at a place that's about 40 k's outside town, and it's 6 cabins that are all accessible. And they're right on the canal. And the reason they're accessible is because the woman who owns it, her dad's chairperson of the Wheelchair Association of Ireland. Wonderful. So of course she knows, you know, what it's like not to have accessible accommodation. But everywhere I went, the rest of the world, it was really hard to get accessible accommodation. So it's really funny.
I can remember when I went to Paris, and we were in the underground, and there was an old lady who finally got to where she needed to get to, and then all of a sudden there was like
a flight of stairs.
A flight of stairs that was like about maybe 4 or 5 different, you know, stair platform. And she just stood there and she started screaming out aloud. I'm like going, this is amazing. There are no concessions for people.
The Paris trip, part of it cost me a fortune in Ubers, because where I wanted to go was always the other side of the city, of course. I did have a great hotel in Paris, and they were really great, and the room that I had was on the ground floor and was right next to the bar, so that was good. And it was totally accessible for me, and they were really nice people. But to travel on the underground, there is a lift, but you've got to go down a flight of stairs to get to it. So I can't use the metro at all, and it's so easy to use if you can walk. So, and I mean, I understand, like even here we've got problems because we've got the oldest tram network in the world, and we've got the largest tram network in the world. And yes, we're working to get it accessible. It'd be nice to get it in my lifetime, but I don't think it will. I mean, you know, sort of, but we're working towards that end to make everything accessible for everybody. Because it's not just people with disabilities, it's what benefits us benefits all everybody, Victorians, of course. You know, or travellers, whatever.
So you have a physical disability.
I do.
You explained it was from a history with polio, was it?
I had polio when I was 4 months old.
Yes.
And that was before the vaccine came out. So I noticed that it's starting to come back in the US because they're stopping vaccinations, which worries me immensely. There's no reason that people should get polio these days. We thought we had it eliminated, but it comes back every so often. So, but I mean, I've had a great life.
Yeah. Thank you for talking to me, Tricia.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
That's all for this week. If you want to get in touch, send us an email. We'll see you next week.